I'm recording the session. And can you see my screen? You could have a thumbs up or post in chat or something. Okay, thank you. So welcome to iProject education module. And I've briefly introduced what this module is going to be like in our introduction session, like yesterday and the day before yesterday. So today we'll go over in more details about what I plan to do in this session. Um, and to get started, so what we will do, so basically we will design some contents and make YouTube videos considering computer science related topics. And I think the um, like most people would choose introduction to programming and some concepts in data structures. So that's what we are going to do for this semester. And I have some open-ended questions to collaboratively solve a solution for that. So for the first one, design the content. Since this is a YouTube videos and I want to make it as interactive as possible, so I'm not sure, would you think it's better for me to prepare the contents and we go over it through the PowerPoint, or it's better to interact or make some like funny things like the normal YouTube videos would be like? So I think I want to discuss this question. Like, what is your thought? Like, do you think it's better to like prepare for a PowerPoint and go through it just like TA sessions that we had, or it's better to design some fun things? You could unmute yourself or just post in the chat or maybe make some reactions or something. Yeah, Sarah, go ahead.
I feel like if possible, it's better if we can think beyond the PowerPoint idea. Um, yeah, yeah, because I would say that for YouTube videos, generally, some people who go to YouTube videos, they want something that can catch their attention longer, since they're reviewing the topics and they're also studying by themselves. So yeah,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like maybe if we can think about a bit beyond the PowerPoint idea, that would be good. But at the same time, we should ensure our video is organized.
Yes, I think that's the point. So, like for now, I'm thinking about like probably I could provide a brief overview of that, or like the person who is responsible for that week could provide a brief overview of that. And then we could have some visual elements design. Like I think the basic line would be go over the PowerPoint or go over the knowledge, but more advanced, or if we have more time, then we would obviously create more attractive things because these are YouTube videos and I don't want this to be boring or something. So make the videos. And about the template, I don't know. I could definitely provide the template, but I will leave the flexibility for that. So I think for the first two sessions, we could have some trials to think, and then we could finalize that. But the basic idea is just to like each person would has a responsibility for certain topics, and we could prepare for that. And a keynote would be I think we're not allowed to share the course materials or assignments that we used for previous semester because of the intellectual property or something. So we could talk about the general ideas. We could go through the algorithms behind these ideas, but we cannot directly like show off the course materials or assignments. So just keep in mind of that. Um, and like in the introduction sessions, I said this would be updated on bi-weekly basis, but I made a small change for that. I think it's probably better to update on a weekly basis because we have many topics to cover, and we have so many people to collaborate on that. So although the whole session would be updated on a weekly basis, but for each person, I think it's definitely maybe just one chance, or for some sessions we might have bi-weekly basis or something. But I think I will show the responsibility later so you could get an idea. Like normally for each person, you would just make a video once per semester, so just one time per semester. And as I discussed earlier in the introductory session, this would be start tentatively on the third week, which is the week of January 29th. Because I think for the first 2 weeks is like the shopping period, so we are busy with schedules or something. So at the start of the third week, like most of our schedules are set up, so we could start working on this. Um, and the topics covered, these are collected from the Google Sheet or Google form that I sent out earlier. So topics involved introduction to programming. This could be taught in Python or Java. And basically are just data types or selections, loops, these kind of things. And then all the other topics are about the data structures like array list, linked list, stacks, queues, heaps, trees, hashing, sorting algorithms, and graph algorithms. And about the machine learning and computer science and bioinformatics, these two topics are more like the application side. So I think these two topics would be like more interesting, and these topics are more foundational. And the most important part is about the members and proposed timeline. So this is also collected from the Google form that I sent out earlier. And the timeline would be the deadline or would be the time that I attempt to post that video on our channel. So you could finish editing the video earlier or something, but just be sure to upload or send it to me before this time period. So as you might see, for the first week, we are talking about the data types, selections, loops, or other logics. And this would be due on February 3rd, which means you could submit like from now to February 3rd, but just be sure to submit before February 3rd. I don't know Matthew is in this meeting or not. I think,
Yeah, I'm here.
oh yeah. So for example, for this one, because this is the first video or the first episode, then we aim to upload that before February 3rd. But this is a little bit urgent compared to other videos. So if you have any difficulties or something, we could always consult about that. Like it's pretty flexible. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And then the second one would be the array list and linked list, which is February 10th. Like once we've done a brief introduction about the data types and the basic algorithms, we could do that part. And then we will introduce stacks and queues. So for Daniel, I don't know if Daniel is in this meeting or not. Uh,
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, great, perfect. I think you've mentioned your interest in stacks, queues, and heaps, but I think like for the heaps, since it contains some representation of trees, so probably we could introduce trees first and the heaps. So I actually divided into two sessions. The first one would be about stacks and queues because these two are more isolated from the concept of trees, and then we will introduce the concept of trees, and then after that we could go back to the heaps. So this is what I meant, like some people might be responsible for two series or two episodes, but I meant to divide it like as you might see, like the February 17th would be before the spring break, and the March 23rd would be after the spring break. So hopefully this is not that urgent, or this won't make your time that easy. um and then after these, we are going to talk about the hashing, which is more like an isolated concept, I would say. And then the sorting algorithm and graph algorithms. For the introduction to machine learning, I think this application could be introduced earlier. So that's why I decided the deadline to be February 24th. And I think somebody mentioned computer science and bioinformatics. I'm looking forward to this one actually because I know nothing about that. But this is I would say this is probably the last application that we might introduce in this semester. So that's why the deadline would be April 13th. So up to this point, for the people in this meeting, do you have any questions or concerns about that? Or am I making the point clear or something? Yeah, Sarah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking that perhaps later on when we're working on the videos, maybe we want to think about generally, do we want to create like playlists on YouTube for our channel, like for like introductory programming stuff and data structures and algorithms, and also for like computer science applications, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, this is what I plan to do. Like, I aim to create some playlist for that and to organize our videos together. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I also feel like generally it would be a good idea if we like is it possible that we can go from the basics to like the data structures and then to the more advanced and applicational stuff?
Yeah. So, as you might see from the deadline that I planned, we actually go from a sequential order. Like the first episode would be the data types or the basic intro to programming, and then we will go through the data structures. One thing to note is probably the introduction of machine learning because it's fairly early to introduce, even though it's an application. But I think like once you know something about Python, then you could try to do the machine learning as long as you refer to packages or modules or something. So that's why I decided this to be uploaded on February, but definitely we could make it later, like around March or April. And for the advanced application, which is the bioinformatics, this one is definitely the latest, or yeah, the latest one, which is on April 13th. Does it make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so that's the basic idea that I'm thinking about. And I think if we don't have questions about the timeline of members, then we could just follow that. Possibly we would have more members to join because I've received some email. So I would work on that as well. But I could share the Google folder to all of us, and to make it like we could make some changes or adjustments based on like later on. So the most important thing I think is about the format or about the template or the overviews or something. So would you think it's a good idea to discuss generally in this meeting, or I would discuss individually based on the person who is responsible for that week? Yeah, Daniel, go ahead.
I was just thinking for the people that you said might be interested in joining,
Mm-hmm.
like if it were an option for them to make a Google form just with a brief assessment of what was covered in the lesson,
What
just
was
an idea.
Yeah, so what was covered in the lesson? So you mean it's like
Yeah,
after yeah.
like a Google form quiz almost, if they want.
You mean for the people who want to join us or for the people who watch the video? Or
For the people that want to watch the video and then
uh yeah,
assess
yeah.
themselves, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like we could upload some like Jupyter notes if for some more advanced topics, or we could upload the Google quiz. Yeah, yeah, the Google form for the quizzes. Definitely that's just a pretty good idea. So I think we could potentially make a quiz.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Good quiz. Um, I guess about the content, I would leave the flexibility for the person who is responsible for that. to like briefly go through what you are going to talk about in that session, as long as just like we will try our best to make it accurate. Definitely, and we want to cover like probably cover much or many things as we could. So I would probably send an email to the person responsible for that week about a brief overview about the topics or contents he or she is going to present. And then for the videos or PowerPoint or formats, I think I would first leave the flexibility to the person. And if it's not the most efficient way, then probably I will create a template for that, just to like make it easier for the presenter. Yeah, make the quiz. That is pretty good. So I think that's probably the end of my little presentation. Just to give a brief overview about the topics that we're going to cover for this semester and to show the proposed timeline for uploading the videos. So do you have any questions? I will leave for the Q&A session in the following 4 minutes, I think. So we could end up earlier. So do you have any questions? Yep, Sarah, go ahead.
So there's a video consisting of the data types, the selection, and the
I think you accidentally mute yourself.
oh sorry.
It's
There's
fine.
a video that explains the data types, the selection, and the loops.
Mhm.
Do you mind explaining why you put all these three topics in one video?
Yeah, actually, I think this is because I aim to do a brief introduction to programming. But yeah, I think the main reason would be up to now, we have 9 participants in this program, in this module. So that's why I decided to like kind of integrate these topics together. But definitely we could spread it out if we have more people, or we could spread it out based on the timeline, just like what we did for the stacks, queues, and heaps one. Like we could have multiple deadlines and to upload that. But basically, why I combine them is because I think these three things are sort of related to each other. And it would be like if you just create one video just talking about the data types, does not containing codes or programming. I don't know how to organize that. I think it's probably better to like introduce if else or like while for loop alongside the data types. Does it make sense? Or
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, but all of these are subject to changes. Like if you have any better ideas or something, feel free to talk about that. And I think Matthew is raising hand, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I wanted to like make a script before like making the video, and could we
Mhm.
do like a thing where like we check over our information before we actually do like filming?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about earlier. So I think we need to at least have a second person to check the content to make it as accurately as possible, like try our best to do that. For now, I think like all of you could definitely check with me. And if something I'm not sure about, then I could check with my friends, which is who has more advanced programming experience before. Yeah. So that's why I think I would contact like probably through email to the presenter of that week to discuss the content or finalize the content. Yeah. Does it answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. And Sarah, go ahead.
Adding on to Matthew's point, would it be a good idea of adding on to Matthew's point, can we also ask our peer reviewer if they can give any feedback generally on the clarity of the lesson, or is there any questions that they think that we didn't consider that the viewers might have?
Sure, absolutely. I think I would create a folder and share access to all of the members participating in this module. And all of us could comment on something that we would like to comment, but at least I would go over all the script and to see whether there's some side notes or something that I might notice or something. Yep. Does it sound great? Or you want some external peer reviewer as well?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Any more questions? Okay. I think we would end up like 9:30 or something. So, how about your project? Having connected with your group?
I think someone contacted us for the chemistry thing, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay, sure. Do you like your project or do you like the concept of your project for right now? I will stop recording because this is irrelevant to the education model.